You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Thursday, May 28th. I'm Maria Lisignoli, and thank you for listening and watching Four Things to Know. Police believe they've got the person who shot and killed a young man during a prayer service in Shakopee yesterday. That is our top story today. Frankie McLister reports from outside the Scott County Jail where the suspect is in custody. He also spoke with Suleiman Aden, the CARE Minnesota Deputy Executive Director.
The Shakopee police right here say that somebody was taken into custody around 8:35 this morning, and now that person is being held at the Scott County Detention Center. And honestly, that's all we know so far in regards to that detainment. Now, the shooting happened just before 10 a.m. yesterday outside of an Eid prayer service happening inside of Canterbury Park's Expo Center. We're told that the shooting happened afterwards when two people had a physical altercation where one fired a gun multiple times during the incident before fleeing. Now, the victim, his name is Khalid Ibrahim Abdi. He was 26 years old, and according to an online fundraiser, was newly married and had a child on the way. He's known to be a union advocate and beloved community member.
That person that only wanted good for others. There's a saying in our faith that the Prophet Muhammad would say, may the peace and blessings be upon him, that you want for your brother what you want for yourself, and Khalid was the true reflection of that.
It's tough stuff. Now, Egan police told me that they actually executed a search warrant for Shakopee last night, but that's all we really know right there. Shakopee police said that once the person is charged, they plan on releasing more information.
Number 2, police in Edina are sending out another warning for car break-ins. Officers are reminding people who live in the city to lock around the clock following recent thefts. They say these crimes often happen quickly, so police want everyone to use the time approach, T-I-M-E, okay? So T, take your keys with you. I, in your car, don't leave valuables visible. M, make sure all windows and doors are locked. And E, even when you're home, close your garage door. Officers also say park in well-lit areas and report any suspicious activity. Number 3 today, the country of Australia is suing 3M for more than $1 billion. This all has to do with PFAS, or so-called forever chemicals used in firefighting foams. Australia says Maplewood-based 3M withheld information about the environmental risks of PFAS. 3M says it's going to fight this lawsuit. It says, quote, it has never manufactured PFAS in Australia and ceased sales of the products at issue in Australia around 2 decades ago. 3M went on to say in a statement, quote, despite this, the Australian Department of Defense continued to use PFAS containing firefighting foams for nearly 2 decades longer, end quote. PFAS have been around since the 1950s, but there are now laws in Minnesota that ban them in many products, including firefighting foam, as well as food packaging, cookware, carpet, and cosmetics. PFAS have been linked to a variety of health problems, including liver and immune system damage, as well as some cancers. And number 4. It's a big day here for a longtime news anchor and community icon. Amelia Santaniello is celebrating 30 years at WCCO. She sat down with Frank Vascellaro, her husband, to talk about the unique challenges of sharing the news desk with your spouse.
Here's a question that I don't think we've ever talked about. Did they come to me first about anchoring with you, or did they come to you first?
Our news director at the time came to me and asked what I thought about it.
What did you say when he said, would you be okay maybe working with your husband, in theory?
I thought, we're married. Of course this is gonna be great, but we have totally different working personalities.
Yeah, it was a much rougher transition than I thought it would be.
I had built-in trust, like I trusted people. You were just learning who is who, and you're very intense. I don't want to say kind of, you're very intense. So I get that now. You were trying to establish that trust.
What do you mean by I'm very intense?
Is this interview about you or is it about me?
I'm just going down where the questions lead.
Amelia will be honored later this year when she joins the Minnesota Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And we hope you tune in to WCCO tonight at 6 for special coverage of Amelia's 30 years on WCCO, including what changed about how she covers breaking news. Those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our next weather forecast.
Hey guys, 6 Weather Meteorologist Adam Del Rosso checking in. Our dry, warm pattern sticking around for several more days. That means tonight, just a couple of passing clouds. Overnight low temperatures, they're not going to fall too far. We only get down into the mid-60s for our low temperatures tonight. Our Friday featuring more sunshine, just a couple of passing clouds. Most of us staying dry all day long. Some models are trying to hint at a stray shower storm popping up across central and northern Minnesota. Not going to be much to worry about if it even does come to fruition. High temperatures back up close to 90 degrees, and we're going to keep the warmth and the largely dry conditions right through the weekend as well.
And now, here's more to know.
Minneapolis leaders are on the hunt for the next top cop after Brian O'Hara made a quick exit as we found out he interfered with an investigation into allegations against himself. We're hearing from O'Hara for the first time since his exit. A statement from his attorney reads in part, quote, Chief Brian O'Hara was brought to Minneapolis to help lead the city through one of the most difficult chapters in its history. Adding, at that time, MPD was roughly 560 officers. It is now 643 officers and growing in quantity, quality, and diversity. And the circumstances of his departure should not define his service, end quote. As for Mayor Jacob Frey, he's defending his handling of the situation in a statement, saying he doesn't make decisions based on rumors and anonymous complaints. He says acting quickly on confirmed allegations is accountability. With Brian O'Hara out, Assistant Chief Katie Blackwell will lead MPD until Mayor Frey appoints an interim chief. Acting Chief Blackwell has been with the department for more than 25 years. She became Assistant Chief back in 2023. Blackwell is a Northeast Minneapolis native who has also served nearly 30 years in the Minnesota National Guard. She shared this statement yesterday, quote, I have a strong understanding of our systems, our priorities, and the challenges ahead. When Mayor Frey asked me to step into the role of acting chief, I did not hesitate. This morning, we went to the grand opening of the Minnesota National Guard's newly renovated armory in Rosemount. When this armory was built in 1994, it was designed to serve 350 soldiers, most of them men. This readiness center can now support more than 500 soldiers, including many women. Senator Amy Klobuchar spoke at today's event.
Nearly 100,000 square feet of expanded space with the assembly hall, the auditorium, the storage areas, classrooms, fitness center, improved locker rooms. They're not just going to benefit all of you, they're going to benefit all of us.
The 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team, 34th Infantry Division, relocated to Arden Hills the past 2 years during the remodeling. Happening today in Pine City, a celebration of the first rural pride movement in America. Pine City is north of the Twin Cities. There's going to be a ceremony today at Voyager Park to dedicate a permanent marker celebrating the city's history as the origin of rural pride. That's starting at 5:30. Then from 6:30 to 8, there's going to be a reception at the Pine City VFW. That first rural pride wasn't all that long ago. East Central Minnesota Pride was founded in 2005. Water quality testing began today at public beaches in Hennepin County. Environmental health workers and their interns were out at Wayzata Beach this morning. Now through Labor Day, they will sample water at public swimming beaches every week. Hennepin County environmentalist Leah Larson says they're looking for elevated levels of E. coli.
The concern with high E. coli is going to be that it can develop into some sort of stomach issues. A lot of folks will say they have the stomach flu. Usually it's going to be something else. The flu's kind of vague, but it's usually going to be something else that includes vomiting and diarrhea. So not fun things to have, especially in the summertime. And so we want to prevent that.
And Hennepin County has an interactive beach map that you can check out to see if beaches are open before you even get there. Now to some sports headlines. Here's Mike Max.
It's football season 12 months a year in Minnesota, and for most cities that have an NFL team, and of course that's the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy or Kyler Murphy? Let it begin. OTAs started this week for the Vikings. That means they're getting a look at both. No pads, no contact, but a lot of work on execution. McCarthy and Murray spoke to it. I asked McCarthy about if he learned much from his up and down fall of 2025.
Yes, I think any experience at all is the most positive thing you can get out of any situation in any profession. So, yeah, I feel like there was a lot of twists and turns last year that is going to help me prepare me for the future and, mold me in the best way possible.
My confidence is unshakable. That's how I feel about myself. Regardless of what happens day to day, I know, the next day I'm coming out here to give my best effort, put my best foot forward, and give whatever the team needs. So that's what you're getting with me as far as confidence goes.
Not a good night for the Minnesota Twins. They got a home run from Byron Buxton, the first hitter of the game, and then David Sandlin, making his Major League debut, retired the next 18 Twins hitters. Meanwhile, the Sox started to put together some runs. Final score 15-2. White Sox win. Same two teams in the final game of the series this afternoon in Chicago. Minnesota Lynx had a close one going with the Atlanta Dream, and then they pulled away in a big way in the second half. Natasha Howard, 22 points. They win it 96-81. Now both teams are 4-2.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
Happening today at CHS Field, Vikings players are trading footballs for softballs for the UNRL Celebrity Softball Game. And you can go watch. You can see players like Max Brosmer and J.J. McCarthy face off against Josh Metellus and Isaiah Rogers in a game of softball. Offensive players will go against their defensive teammates for a good cause, raising funds to help kids reach their full potential. Gates open at 4:30, and there's a home run derby at 6, and the game starts at 7, and tickets start at just $7. Thank you for joining me here on 4 Things to Know. I'm Maria Lisignoli, and I'm here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.